needs this game more?
It's the Clippers. The Clippers need this game more than the Nuggets, for the simple fact that they need to show the Nuggets that what they did last year in the bubble is a fluke, and this is not the same Clipper team. We have a new coach. Paul George is back to himself. Kawhi Leonard is back to himself, and they have to send a message to this young Denver Nuggets team that's basically saying, hey, you don't want to see us. You don't want this smoke. So it's important to the Clippers to go in here and smack the Denver Nuggets to send a message and make a statement.
Sure, if you see it as the Clippers world, if you see this as the story of the Clippers is the A side and the Nuggets is the B side. I don't think that's the way the Nuggets see themselves, and that's not the way I see this. I don't believe in playoff Paul George. Like, playoff Paul George is an insult, and it shouldn't be. He's a great enough player where that should be a compliment, but it hasn't been throughout his career, and the sample size is large enough that you see he clearly does not assert himself the way he should in the playoffs. He has some good games, then he goes away other games. He comes down in the world in those circumstances. What's Jamal Murray do? What's Jokic do? They give you that work, as you would say, Perk. They give you that work. And Portis Jr. also a horrible defender, but a real offensive talent. Now has another year of experience under his belt. No, if you come into this thinking, look what happened to the Clippers last year, clearly they need to win more. Sure, because you think it's the Clippers' world or their story, fine. But if you look at it, the Nuggets, like, this is a team that's going to win a championship. They have, like, Jamal Murray's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Jokic will be in the Hall of Fame one day. Porter might be an all-star with his scoring if he can get his defense to come around at all. This is a team that was down but never out, it seemed, right, in the playoffs. The cardiac kids, and it felt like no lead is safe. No. The Nuggets have to be looking at this season like they're going for theirs right now. You don't want the Clippers send the message, look, last year it's different. It was a fluke. We didn't have our act together. What's that do for the Nuggets? The Nuggets got to send the message. That wasn't a fluke. We're here. We mean business. We're better than we were last year. And they're going for, the Nuggets have championship aspirations today. They want to win the championship, and they have good reason to believe that they can.
Yeah, and the Clippers want to win a championship too, Max. But when you talk about Paul George and his struggles in the playoffs, this was Paul George. These type of games, like the season opener against the Lakers, a primetime game, a Christmas Day game, he need to approach these games like it's the playoffs. This is a test for him. He need to have that mindset. He need to be locked in and focused like this is a playoff game and go in attack mode and show the world and show the Nuggets that anytime the bright lights hit the ice, I'm ready for it. And this is why I say that the Clippers need this game more than the Nuggets. By the way, they only blew a 3-1 lead to them, letting the Nuggets come back and win the series last year. So they need to come back and make a statement.
They need to make a statement that Paul George can play in the playoffs in Game 2 of the regular season. No, they can't make that statement. Nothing Clippers can do to make the statement you want them to make. Meantime, Jamal Murray, one of the special things about him, I mean, Jokic is just different. Jokic can bring the ball up. Jokic is the best passing five, maybe, of all time. He's certainly in the conversation. He can shoot from the outside. You bring up Montrezl Harrell and what a good player he is, and he can play defense and everything. Jokic, that was ugly, what Jokic did to him, and it's nothing against Montrezl Harrell. That's how good Jokic is offensively. And Jamal Murray, what makes Jamal Murray so special is not just his game, Perk. It's where, when the lights shine brightest, we already saw him have, against Utah, for example, one of the best playoff series you'll ever see, period. That was historically great what he did. So Jamal Murray is already a prime-time performer. So is Jokic. In those moments, they're like MVPs. Now we got to see Porter give them a legitimate third wheel if they are serious about challenging the Lakers, and I think they are.
Yeah. Okay, listen, I get it. I'm not taking anything from Jamal Murray. He had a hell of a run down there in the bubble in the playoffs. But he also struggled throughout the regular season. And I think Jamal Murray has to make sure that he comes out and approach this regular season like it's also the playoffs and show us that he could go in and night out and be consistent through a full season of basketball. He had one good run in the postseason, a small sample size. We need to see a larger sample size. We know what Jokic could do over a course of 82 games or 72 games. We have yet to see that from Jamal Murray, so he has to prove himself also, Max. Don't just crown him.
Oh, well, I agree with you, but that means you agree with me. In other words, what Paul George needs to show, he needs to show in the playoffs. We ain't playing the playoffs. We're playing the regular season. What you just said is Jamal Murray needs to show the stuff he showed in the playoffs in the regular season. Here we are. I win. Yes, Perk. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, you don't,
it's
Max.
nice on the Christmas Eve show to
I
have
said,
the great Kendrick Perkins admit that I beat him in a basketball debate. Molly?
Max,
Okay,
first
Molly.
of all,
Maybe I was
said
presumptuous.
that
Molly,
Paul
Perk
George.
just admit I was right.
I said that Paul George, for as with his mental toughness, he needs to approach primetime games looking at them for as like practice and getting ready for the postseason. So like a Christmas Day game, he need to think of this as like preparation for the playoffs. So when he gets to the playoffs, he won't keep having these disappearing acts. He need to figure out something. He need to change up something. I'm just trying to give him some advice. You ain't win nothing.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.